Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I'm Adam Hildebrand, and I'm pleased to be joined today by OSU Foundation President Blaire Atkinson, and then also the Associate Vice President for Brand Management, Megan Horton. And we are going to be spending a little time today talking about this big new campaign that we just kicked off. It was a beautiful day for the kickoff ceremony out at the McKnight Center, and there's just a lot going on and a lot to kind of digest. So let's start with a hopefully fairly basic question. Megan, what is this campaign? What's going on?
Well, it's a great campaign and a unique opportunity for Oklahoma State University when we were looking at how do we position OSU for growth in the future and differentiate ourselves within the market. We capitalize on that opportunity with a unified branding and fundraising campaign. And what that means is across all our channels, across all our audiences, that we are sharing the same message. The code calls. And it's really different for higher ed. A lot of times in higher ed, you find that the foundation may have a message or the core tagline for the institution would be different. But for this season that we're in, we're differentiating ourselves through our value system with this campaign, but also really propelling that message further by everyone utilizing the same message.
Yeah, I would add to that this really is our opportunity to tell the world who we are and what we stand for and where we're going and ask them to join us in that endeavor. So what was exciting about it as we thought about how to do this together was that we really started looking at what makes us different and distinct at Oklahoma State. And what we found was that our value system and the Cowboy Code is unique to us. And it serves as a really strong grounding point for our alumni, for our current students, for prospective students. And so felt like this really was the time for us to tell the world who we are and what we stand for at Oklahoma State.
Well, and everything that goes on here, there's a why behind it. President Hess does a really good job focusing on student experience and those sorts of things. Certainly when there's an endeavor this large, there's a big why behind that as well. So Blaire, let's start with you on this. I mean, what's kind of the why behind this campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked a little bit about the cowboy culture and the cowboy code, and we believe that the world needs more cowboys. And a time in higher education that we think what we stand for here at Oklahoma State, we need more of. Our students are exceptional here, and they really need our donor support. We're thinking of world-class student experience, and this campaign really aims all of our energy toward the students and the student experience. So now is the time. We think the world needs more cowboys, and we want everyone to join us in that endeavor.
But I think in addition to that, if you're in the cowboy family, you feel it, you know it. It's intrinsic to our culture. And this campaign really leans in hard to that. A lot of times we hear people say, oh, when you come to Stillwater or one of our branch institutions, you know what it feels like. But this campaign really gives us the opportunity to share that cowboy code with not just those within the cowboy family, but everyone beyond. And that is a draw. That's something that really helps us stand alone in our market and is something that a lot of people can believe in.
So we've all been involved in this, so we're pretty familiar with the Cowboy Code at this point. But for those who are not, what is the Cowboy Code?
Well, the Cowboy Code is our value system at Oklahoma State University. There are core tenets within the Cowboy Code, and it describes our people, our culture, the heartbeat of our institution. And it's something that universally across students, alumni, and for donors as well, and beyond, it's something that everyone is really latched onto. They want to live it out and they want to share it with the world.
Yeah, something that was just developed less than a decade ago here at Oklahoma State. It is and has been literally etched in stone on our campus for the last 7 years, and it's been something, to Megan's point, that people have really grabbed hold of organically, but we've really never taken the time to tell everyone what that is and what it means. So when you say things naturally at OSU, like we dream as big as the sky, or we stand for what matters even if we stand alone, those are things that have been just natural parts of who we are. And again, this is just our chance to tell the world that that really is our value system here and is something that we all stand for and can unite around.
Do you have a particular segment of the code that stands out to you?
Mine is that we dream as big as the sky. I think that is also what donor philanthropy allows us to do at Oklahoma State. So I think it's something that our donors gravitate to. There's so much at this university for us to really elevate the student experience, and for us to be a top tier university, we have to have donor support. So that dream as big as the sky is really what philanthropy allows us to do here at our university.
I would say my favorite tenet is being a cowboy is it in your clothes, it's in your character. We did a lot of user research and just market research with this campaign. And one thing that comes back to us often is the Cowboy Code and how all of our people embody that spirit. And it's deeply rooted in character that's unmatched. Whether you're, working for an employer that's OSU alumni owned or a student stepping foot on campus, all of us embody that. But you can be all walks of life. It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
necessarily,
right.
you don't have to wear cowboy boots to live out the Cowboy Code. And that's why I love that one so much. Yeah.
Well, as you guys mentioned, unified campaign. That means there's a lot of hands in the pot on this thing. Megan, you're the AVP of brand management. So let's turn to you for the branding aspect of this. Kind of walk us through what the priorities are for the branding side of this campaign.
Sure. Well, obviously, we want to educate everyone far and wide on what is the Cowboy Code, why does it matter, and the code calls is intentionally a call to action in terms of how we frame that because we want everyone to join us and see why OSU is different, why it's important that they join us and be a part of the Cowboy family.
Yeah, I would add to that from the fundraising side of it. It is a $2 billion comprehensive fundraising campaign. And as Megan said, this is about culture and community. And the priority with it is two-part. One, the fundraising campaign, but the other is just the cowboy connection. Being in this cowboy family is different. It is distinct from any other university in the country. And so the call to action is asking everyone to step up and step in. So mentor a student, hire graduates, be a part of this university, buy your season tickets, or be a member of the Alumni Association, give philanthropically. Our vision is that every student will be connected to a donor through a 4-year scholarship award. That's a big, audacious vision and dream. But at the core of this campaign, and any way that you look at it, it is about connection and family and community. And we really need the entire alumni and Oklahoma community to be a part of this.
So you mentioned that's a really big goal. Is that part of why it was so important to have these two efforts combined with each other?
Yeah, it really is. I think it is in this campaign. It will really be about everyone doing their part. There isn't one single donor that's going to give us, $400 million, right? It is at OSU. This is a community of connection, and it is many hands that are going to go into making this a reality. So. For us, it was saying everyone's got to do their part, and everyone's part looks a little different, and that's okay. But you'll hear President Hess, some of his vision is that every student is connected to a career coach and an academic advisor when they step on campus. We want every student to be thinking about what their job looks like on the backside of this. So it's not just about the philanthropy, it's also about those successful cowboy business people hiring our graduates or connecting to mentor students or give them career advice in their journey. So it is, again, about connection. Absolutely.
So as we continue to talk about priorities of the campaign, I know scholarships are on the forefront of the mind of the campaign as a whole. Dr. Hess has made that a priority since he stepped on campus. So is there anything new coming along the lines with that? What are we looking at with scholarships?
Absolutely. You probably saw at the event we were able to surprise 2 incredible students with a 4-year scholarship award from the Code Calls Scholarship Fund. So that is a priority for us. We do have a Code Calls scholarship fund. If people are compelled and inspired, we'd love for them to give a gift to that fund. It offers a 4-year scholarship award to those students. You may have seen also recently we announced the Horizon Scholars Program, which again is representative of the cowboy community coming together, joining arms. So we have 13 donor families that stepped up to commit a 4-year scholarship award of $7,500 with a $5,000 study abroad stipend and a $5,000 internship stipend. So you'll see more and more of that. I think our donors are compelled to get connected with students and really invest in their future together.
And along those lines, when we were building out this unified campaign, one of the primary goals we wanted to address is removing the gap between donor and student. So this campaign really positions us for donors to make an impact, but also students to understand how important that is to their academic journey, because those stories, they matter. And that event was a great opportunity for us to showcase how that kind of comes together.
Megan, where can we expect to see the code calls popping up around various parts of our lives with this thing?
Well, a lot of places. So this unified campaign was built through a groundswell of support and collaboration from marketing and communications professionals across the entire OSU system. So you can expect to see it in, billboards, advertisements, storytelling, social media, but across all of our units at OSU. And it's really important. And I think that is what makes this campaign stand out, is that it's not just a certain section of OSU. It is OSU. And it is the brand platform that we will utilize for years to come to show why we're different, to show why we're, a premier land-grant university, and also why our people are different and really make an impact in the world.
You mentioned it was a collaboration between a lot of marketing and communications professionals. There's certainly multiple campuses involved in this as well. What does that look like as we embark on this campaign, having kind of everybody working together on it?
Well, it's incredibly important. And when we say we are the Cowboy family, we mean it. And what that means is across the OSU system, we have many campuses: OSU Oklahoma City, OSU IT in Okmulgee, OSU Tulsa, the OSU Center for Health Sciences, of course, OSU Stillwater. And across all of those areas, and including, cooperative extension in all of Oklahoma's 77 counties, we have a massive impact and footprint in Oklahoma. But that's incredibly important because as Oklahoma's premier land-grant university, we're called to give back. We're called to have that lasting impact and improve the lives of Oklahomans. So it was really important for us when we were building this to involve all of those personnel and to take the painstaking steps of working months of building out content calendars and doing market research and visiting with alumni, donors, students, employees on how are we different and how do we really capitalize on that? So each of our branch institutions and our colleagues across that system, they have a toolkit, they have resources, but they also have so much energy and excitement to promote this because it is what makes us unique and also what brings people in every day.
You mentioned something in that I think people might be curious to know, because this idea didn't hatch in October and then got rolled out in November. How long has this been in the works? And because I know there's been a big team working for a long time.
It has.
That's a great.
I'll start and then we can maybe tag team this together. So from the fundraising side of the house, we have been in the planning and quiet phase of the campaign since July of 2021. So we've been counting all of our philanthropic gifts. We've been meeting with donors to look at ideas that the university has in terms of priorities, to get feedback from them, what resonates, what doesn't resonate, and getting, really refining how we think about bringing people toward the philanthropic mission of the university. It has been in that period, I'll just add, in that period, we have raised nearly $900 million in private support, which is incredible, from thousands of individual donors, which we're incredibly grateful for. And they were really critical in our evolution to where we are today with the code calls. Their feedback for us was the culture and character of this institution is unlike anything in the country, and we ask alumni and non-alumni for that feedback, and they said the students are the most important priority to our donors. So you can tell that's where we landed, was really capitalizing and leaning into those two things.
And just continuing, how do we align our brand platform and fundraising efforts? We have a marketing and communications plan at OSU, and we're actually on our second plan. And part of that is elevating our reputation. And we knew when we launched that plan that we really wanted to find unique ways to lean into the Cowboy Code. At that time, we didn't know it would align in this way, but as the fundraising efforts evolved, we talked about, like, this is our moment. This is the time to really propel that even further and to expand all the messaging around the Cowboy Code and really let that serve as the pillar for all of these things. So the fundraising campaign, along with us looking at our next big brand campaign, really was serendipitous and aligned in a beautiful way. And as we've looked at it and also done research across higher ed, I think you'd be hard pressed to find institutions that have executed such a highly collaborative and uniform campaign across all of their units. Big companies do it, but it's very hard to find a higher ed institution that can do it because of silos and because of sometimes the struggle of how higher ed is structured. But I think the fact that we could execute on a campaign of this magnitude shows also that culture and how we approach big ideas and projects.
Well, certainly alumni, people who care about higher education in Oklahoma, are going to be massively involved in this effort. For those who are on campus, faculty, staff, even students, how can they be involved in the code calls?
Yeah, for us, it really, what we're asking people to do is to find the thing that they're most passionate about and help amplify the message about that, help communicate to the larger public why that matters, and ask people to be a part of that with you. There are so many initiatives across campus that touch our students. We just had Cowboys United for Mental Health, for example, thinking about what the mental health support and services are for our students. There are so many faculty, staff, and students on campus that have a passion for that. And I would say use that passion and use your voice today and all of your outlets and all of your networks to tell the world what's happening at Oklahoma State in that pocket of the world, and ask people to join you in that, whether that's giving, whether that's volunteering, whether that's meeting with students. Get involved, be passionate, and get involved.
I would say we are all ambassadors and keepers of the Cowboy Code, right? So as faculty and staff, I think it's incredibly important that they understand it, that they feel connected to it, and that they share it with the world. Because every single one of those touch points in terms of how they do their job every day, it's incredibly important for impacting our students' lives, advancing our land grant mission. And the Cowboy Code really gives us that opportunity to not just to live out our land grant mission, but to show how our culture and character are really different. And our faculty and staff are a critical part of that.
From the alumni and donor perspective, there are going to be people who want to get involved in this that don't live anywhere near Stillwater, Oklahoma. Is there a centralized place they can go? How should people try to dig in, and if they want to take the next step and get more involved?
Absolutely. They can visit osugiving.com. That is our website that lists all of the giving priorities and information about the campaign from a philanthropic perspective. They can send me an email or call, or anyone on our staff. We stand ready to help people connect with their passion and help create some meaningful impact at the university.
Megan, you mentioned early on in our conversation that this is a lot about differentiating OSU and setting OSU up for future success. So what does that look like as we move not only forward with this campaign, but into the next 5 or so years of the university here?
Well, I would say we're fortunate in that President Hess has bold ideas and a strong leadership team to help position OSU for future success. The fundraising efforts are a huge part of that. I know Blaire touched on this, but he has outlined a vision that is really deeply tied to student success. So where we go from here, I think this is a big piece of it, but also that we take these fundraising efforts, the branding campaign, and push us into the next edition of OSU strategic plan, which he has charged the team leading that effort with aligning it with the code calls and these key priority areas that we're fundraising around, but also other ways that we can have a really impactful student experience. And why does that matter? When you think about the forces impacting higher ed right now, nationally, statewide, but also the value of higher education, there has never been an more important moment to showcase why our work matters. And really, this campaign, the next strategic plan, will help us be at the forefront of how we're answering the call, how we as a land grant institution are really, making an impact every day, and why, like you said,
Yeah.
the world needs more cowboys to do that work.
All right. Well, Blaire, Megan, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. And we're looking forward to the future and the code calling all of us. So thanks for the time.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to y'all next time.